Elizabeth Bay, Arnhem Land. The scenery is just breathtaking, and the fishing, as you're about to see, is absolutely amazing. iFish with Tackle World is back, and our new 1 hour format allows for more characters, tips, techniques, destinations, and most importantly, fish. How good is this? The Auriga Bay, our mothership, is anchored just around the corner, and our chef and guide has said come over to these rocks because these are some of the biggest black-lipped oysters you'll ever see. We're collecting a good feed for dinner, and tonight it's Oysters Kilpatrick. Shortly, we're going to do some fishing. How good is it? You can catch seafood with a rod and reel, or you can just come and harvest it from the rocks. I think I love the Northern Territory. Entree's been taken care of, it's up to us to find dinner. There's a sand mountain out in the middle of nowhere here that rises from 25 metres to within 3 metres of the surface. There's some big fish on it, and we're going to go and catch them. .22 of a nautical mile to the zone. Paul Hunt from Top End Expeditions, what can we expect, mate?
Mate, where we're fishing right at the moment, there's a sand spike. It shoots out of 22 metres of water, straight up into 3 metres of water. Quite often we've got a lot of bait fish boiled up around those areas, and the GTs just love to get in on it.
Well, I love GTs. We've got the beautiful big gold bomber on there and the Blue Water Classic. We've actually upgraded to owner hooks and rings, only because these fish can be so big and pull so hard, you've got to have everything going for you. Let's go and nail a few. Oh, I just had a bump. Yep. Oh, you're on. I just got totally nailed. Look at that. I am gone. Something with teeth cleaned me up, mate. Look at that.
We do get a lot of mackerel hanging around here at times.
Well, how's that? There must have been 2 of them, because that's the end of mine. We'll get rid of that. Yep. Mate, I lost everything.
This isn't too big, but
oh, what is it?
No.
That is bizarre. Are we in neutral?
We're in neutral. Couple of headshots.
Okay, let's turn this off, make it easier. That is crazy. I just got a little bump, everything gone, cleaned up. I told Paul, he got hit straight away.
It's not a big fish.
Oh, it's a mackerel, is it? Well, obviously a school of little Spaniards just swum past. But once again, the rules are simple, aren't they? You find structure, you find fish. Whoop. Come here, mate. Oh, aren't they just beautiful fish?
They're gorgeous. And I did notice just as we come across the top there was a lot of bait fish hanging around. So these little blokes would have been down there getting into the bait fish.
He's still a bit green, this guy, but just have a look at that Spanish mackerel. He has smacked that Blue Water Classic. Right, thank you very much. And my fish, I would have had a mackerel too because they are a schooling fish. It would have actually come through. I think the first one's bumped the lure and the second fish has bumped the bubble.
The GTs will be there. The problem is we've got to get past these blokes first.
If we have to, we'll put bigger lures on, mate. What we'll do is put this down.
Yep.
We'll get these hooks out. And that's a pretty fine start. Local knowledge, you can't beat it. We hit the spot, X mark the spot, and then X mark the Spanish mackerel. So we've had to change lures and we've had to re-rig. I've gone to wire trace about that far, about 8 foot of wind-on Nitlon leader. I'm running a Blue Water Classic lure and Paul is running a green bomber with a large bib. They'll both go to different depths. We're not far from the strike zone. Let's just stand here and see what happens next. How far from Spot X, mate?
We're about 30, 40 metres away, mate.
30 or 40 metres.
So it's all going to happen soon.
This is where the fish should be. 3 metres of water, 3.5 metres, and as the current pushes through, it'll push bait up, and big predators will be hanging around waiting for a free feed.
I don't want to get the blood running by saying get ready, but get ready.
I'm like a coiled spring ready to pounce.
We're just going over the top now, so another 30, 40 metres and the lures will go off, I'm sure.
A lot of people often ask, why do you like fishing so much? I actually made it my life, I love it that much, and I think it has to be the anticipation, the build-up. The whole trap is set, And waiting for that strike is almost as exciting as when it actually happens. When you come on a trip like this too, there's a 12-month build-up. Go to the tackle shop, buy your lures, planning nights, catch up with your mates. That's what fishing's all about. And this build-up, this excitement, you just cannot believe it or feel it until you come out here and do it for yourself. Oh, yes, 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 that's a big fish.
Keep winding.
I'm going to keep winding because there might be a second there. You come under me. I don't know if you can hear that, but Paul actually said there's a couple of big fish on the sounder there now. And I'd say this is one of them, Paulie.
Oh, he's having a bit of a run. Let's go.
Now, would you like me to chase this fish a little for you?
And we do very well. I think we might have to. If you can head over there, Paul, that'd help me a lot.
A lot of people might think it's unsporting to use the Evan route to chase your fish, but it's actually the kindest thing you can do for the fish. Get it in quickly, get it on its way, and just enjoy the moment. Because if you fight it from a dead boat...
He's going around this side.
He's going around that side. If you fight it from a dead boat, it can cause you a bit of grief. He doesn't want to get his head up.
He doesn't want his head up. And that's what they do. They're hardcore. Yeah, we're up to the trace, Paul. So,
I've learned from experience that you never try and lead a GT to the boat until his head is pointing your direction.
That's right.
There is our GT, and look at that big bomber just sticking out the side of his gob there and in his peck. And there he is.
Look at that.
Do I tell you what they weigh?
What's your hand?
Those fish, what? I'm just going to let him relax. I don't want to end up with a hook in the hand.
Look at that bomber. I said green, and green it is. I don't know why, but these beautiful fish, and have a look at him. He's gorgeous. He's better looking than you, Paul.
Just a little. In fact, let's do a quick comparison for the people at home. Who's better looking, me or the GT? Don't vote, please.
That's a beautiful fish, but I'll tell you what, we're going to get the lure out of him and get him back in there because we want this area to stay as it is.
Oh, I think he's keen to go too.
He's keen.
There you go, mate. Let's get that water going. And a little wave of the tail to say, Paul and Paul, you're all right. Let's get another.
Let's go. All right, Paul, I think we should drop those lures back in.
Sounds like a plan. This is my little green baby.
Well, I'm going to stick to my little green baby.
I don't like yours as much as mine.
You don't have to, it's just the GTs have to.
Yeah, thanks. Let me just say, they're both my lures. I like it when people just take my lures out of a box. You've done well, Mr. Hunt.
I just had a huge amount of bait fish boiling up on the sounder.
Well, where there is big fish, there is bait fish, and vice versa.
And vice versa. So we could, good chance we might hook something along here, Paul.
Oh, yes,
Yep,
yes,
you're on, Paul,
oh!
you're on.
I think we're in the right area.
I think we are.
How good is that? I tell you what, people ask, Paul, why do you love fishing so much? That is the reason. A lot of head shakes here. Oh, I'm a bit scared. That's a weird fish. Paul, there's a lot of head shakes.
Is that it? Well, I'm going to throw mine back out.
It actually come towards me, and then there's very little weight, and this fish is swimming right towards me. Oh. And now look at that. You can see fish like to swim into the current. You can see that braid there, the fins, actually cutting into the current the fish is holding, just like the eject the back's holding us in the current, and now he's getting serious. I reckon this could be a big fish. This is the tip, big fish. And this big fish did not know he was hooked.
He didn't
That's
know.
my tip. Because now, look at the power. This fish is just swimming away, willy-nilly, taking line. The big neck save 10,000 spoolers are spinning. And I reckon we've got a GT. I can feel the tail beats as he just goes bang, 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 and he's starting to circle, just like Paul's fish did before. Look at that rod tip. Boom, 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 boom. I think it's important to note too, you don't need elephant gun gear to catch GTs. Like GTs are probably renowned as one of the hardest pulling fishes in the ocean. But this is basically a Port Phillip Bay snapper outfit, except for the fact I'm running 30-pound braid.
That's right.
And it just means you can sit back and enjoy the moment. I can talk to you people at home. I nearly spat on you. I do apologise. I'm just getting excited.
Just on that fall, I've noticed up here we used to fish heavy too. We've gotten lighter and lighter and lighter. And the lighter we're gone, the more fish we're getting.
I have actually learnt that filming around the country and the world for nearly 7 years now. It gives you a great chance to actually try different things.
Yep.
And initially I went really heavy because every fish we hooked I wanted to catch for the cameras, but the lighter I went, the more bites I got. And I am prepared to lose 1 in 5. That's all you'd lose if you're lucky, and normally you won't lose any, just for the experience of that hookup and actually winding that fish in. A lot of people panic. They really do panic when a fish does something they don't want them to do. And remember, this isn't just a shock absorber, this fishing rod. It is a tool, and you can guide the fish where you want them to go. I think in fishing, the hookup's got to probably be the most exciting thing. There's nothing like that bait, lure, jig, just getting nailed, fly, whatever it is. I can see colour, and I think seeing colour, I was just going to say, is about the second most exciting thing, because when you see that fish for the first time, it really is a beautiful, beautiful thing. And a lot of times you have absolutely no idea whatsoever what you've hooked into. You see the species, then you see the size, and the first time you see it, it looks like a monster. And then it hits the deck of the boat, and then forever. Every time you close your eyes and you want to think back to that moment, you can see it again, and that is a beautiful thing. There's our fish, look at that. Oh, it's just doing those big circles. What I'm going to do, for no other reason than I want you to see this fish in the beautiful sunlight, I'm just going to use my rod to guide him around. He's swimming around the back of the boat there, and I'm just going to slowly bring him around. There's probably a good lesson here for young anglers. You can use a fishing rod to guide the fish to do what you want it to do. I'm just slowly leading him like a puppy dog. My dog Otto, all 45 kilos of Labrador, you can lead him if you do it right. And I've just led this fish around, and there he is in the beautiful Gove sunlight. Now come to the top, mate. There he is. Paul, I'll just get you to sneak through there and grab him if you can. That is a cracker fish. Oh, he's shaking your hand, mate. Happy to see you. I'll tell you what, when that tail... Oh, guess what?
Guess what?
I think he's a little bigger than yours, son.
You think so? He's a gorgeous fish. Have a look at that. And look at that classic lure hanging out of his mouth.
Mate, they are beautiful. I tell you what, you don't have to go too far to know that classic lures, as in Barra Classics, are probably the most famous barra lures in the country. That is a beautiful blue water classic in green again. Look at the tooth marks in the back there, and they're from these big fangs. I love these guys, they're beautiful. He's got a little bit of dentistry work he needs, Paul. Put the GT back, I reckon.
Put him back, mate.
Just a little blood, looks like Lippy when he goes down to see his girlfriend. Just give him a bit of a swim. That's a big fish, mate. How big do you reckon it is?
Here you go, 6 kilo.
Big fish. I thought he was close to about 10 myself, but...
He's a beautiful fish anyway, mate.
I'm paying this gentleman, and he's downsizing my fish 6 kilos.
We've got to keep it real.
It's all good. How good is that now, Paul? What is it about guiding? Like, why do you're away from your family, your kids? Why do you come to Gove and do this for a living?
Mate, look, I hooked up with Top End Expeditions some years ago. This area, right up the top end, it hasn't changed in a million years. And getting blokes like, oh, I know you've caught a lot of fish, and that's fantastic, but just calling what's going to happen, taking you to a spot, seeing you hook up on a fish like that and bringing it in the boat, that's magical for me, you know. And
it's actually a bit heartwarming. Now start the boat and catch me another fish.
Well, can we have another heartwarming moment?
All I expected was like, because it's fun, but I get... You want to see the fish under the sounder at the moment? It is so good. It is so good that I'm actually going to wind this lure in and hope I get a hit. That is wrong.
It's important to keep pressure on these fish. Super important, because you give them that little bit of slack, and before you know it, they're gone on you.
Now, Paul actually copped those tail scoots before, so I'm going to use the fish towel. I'm actually going to grab him with the towel. I might even double it up because they are pretty nasty, because I don't want to encounter the same sort of thing. There we go, look at that for a grab. Another beautiful GT from the Northern Territory. That green bomber really has paid for itself today. I think we might try something else. I think we might go catch queenies on poppers next. What do you reckon about that? And back she goes. So that towel did the job just beautifully, and I'll give you a push. And gone. I tell you what, this time I'll put my lure out, you leave yours in, and we'll see how it goes. So if you see shots of the sounder, it means I got him to keep his lure in the boat. Just run you through the rig. 30-pound fins braid. Back-to-back uni, 80-pound knit line leader. I then run that through for about 6 feet for a shock absorber. That is tied to an owner, black rolling swivel, haywire twist onto 86-pound American fishing wire, haywire twist to a snap, and then there's our lure. The beauty of this rig, if anything with teeth comes along, they don't bite the lure off, and by having that snap, we can change from lure to lure, put a popper on, and you don't have to re-rig the whole thing. Now let me just say, today, this lure has been Mr. Dynamite. Paul sort of turned in the opposite direction for just a minute, and I don't know what happened. And Harry Houdini must be on the boat, because in the blink of an eyelid, the green bomber that was on his rod, the snap opened, it jumped across to my rod, and I didn't even see the slide of the hand. Watch the hands, nothing but the hands.
I don't know where I was, mate, but you got away with my lure somehow.
Seriously, I stole his lure when he wasn't looking. Well, in fact, I stole my lure off you, so I was an Indian stealer, because they say Indian giver. I put it out the back, and I seriously reckon it went 20 yards before I went. There's an old saying in fishing, never leave fish to find fish. And Paul was saying before, there's coral trout just behind that island, there's some big queenies over there. We could go and catch golden snapper over there. It's all fine, and I'd love to do it all, but we've got the hottest biter GTs here. Why would you drive away from them?
No, I mean, and that's the problem with me being up here, is that we can get fish like this all the time, but, you know, if you're not used to it, mate, it's just fantastic to be able to come here and just do this all day long, and I'm not going to get sick of it. I'm sure you're not going to get sick of it.
And this is just wrong. I'm going to try and guide him this way. Tell you what, I don't know if this is a bigger fish or he's just on steroids, mate, but he's pulling.
You think it could be as big as that one I got first time, mate?
Look, I'd say yes, but I just think it could be impossible, beyond the reason of doubt, that I could catch a fish as big as yours.
Oh.
I just don't think it's physically possible, Paul. Just by holding your thumb on the spool there, I can just put a little bit of extra pressure on, but if the fish goes, just let go like that. Don't do your drag up because it's very hard to loosen it, but just, I've got my index finger under the spool. When he shakes his head like that, I can let it go if I want, but it just helps me lift him in this current and just slowly get him up a little bit. I've just won about 6 inches, and now we just wind down. I don't know if you noticed, but I'm actually puffing a bit. This is hard work. Oh, he's just got his head down. Maybe it's the way the lure's in him.
Mate, I'd say the lure's caught back in the back of him, and he's been sitting sideways down there.
There he is.
You can see that.
Oh, he's not a bad fish, but no bigger than the others. Oh, look at that.
And that's that green bomber again, Paul.
Oh, it's just killing it, isn't it,
look,
now?
You've actually, you fouled hooked him down under there.
I'm just gonna, well, that hook would have been in his mouth. Look at that hook's come out because it's actually straightened. That's out. That lure today has just done the damage so incredibly. And look at that.
Look at that.
A little remora.
Popped out of his mouth.
I'm gonna try and get him in the hand there. Whoops. Bit hard to see, look at that. That is a little remora. He's got a suction pad on his back there. It's your remora. You want it back? Okay, well, hang on a sec. Whoop. I'll put him back later. Can I sing you a song, GT? When you're swimming too deep and an eel takes a peek, it's remora. Oh, you don't like that?
No, you can try to get your nose in, Paul.
I'm going to get the remora, mate. You can put him back.
And he's gone.
My fish are yours! Oh, how good was that mine? Oh, look at your lure! Look at that! Yes. And look at mine going out the back there!
Oh, you beautiful!
I actually suggested to Paul that we moved in a bit closer to the rocks. Oh, look at him jump! A bit closer to the rocks because the fish will be sheltering from this current. And how strong is this current, Paul?
Oh, it's strong, mate, and the fish are using it.
I saw it jump, I saw mine jump, it was just wrong.
Oh, I've gone.
Gone? That was a big fish too, mate.
That was a big fish.
I saw it hit the popper, and then I wasn't sure if it was my fish or yours, and then I saw it come back and just climbed all over it. Well, we found him.
And the old cotton cordels, eh?
Gone! As my mate Pat O'Reilly would say, gone! This is going to come up here, this fish, I reckon. I love queenies.
They are great.
Oh, look at this! Look at this! You spin me round, round, baby, right round like a record player, right? That is insane!
Mate, can I say, that's why the queenies are here. The bait fish get caught up. They get spun round inside this because they just can't swim strong enough in this current. And those queenies are working into them. Just cleaning them up.
I tell you, these E-Techs are so good. Spin us around now. And keep going. Yep, hard right, hard right. Okay, now face the camera boat. Whoa! Oh, what a queenie! What a queenie! Can you believe we're still going around? And our camera boat is literally 15 feet from us. And it's not going around. Oh.
Look at him.
Hang on, I'll grab the tail if you want, mate.
Yep.
And then you can grab that. I'll get the tail. Just got to be very careful because queenies, here's my pliers.
Let's get these rods out of the way.
Let's get these hooks out. We're going to come over and show you this fish properly. There's one hook gone.
Look at that.
They are cracker fish. Do you want to come in a little bit closer so you can have a good look? And look at that, mate. Something's had a bite of him.
Oh, yeah.
There is a fresh bite on his tail. We live in an area here, it is eat or be eaten. And this one's going back.
I think mine was bigger, Paul.
I think yours was bigger. I tell you what though, I'm glad we come looking for queenies. There you go, mate. You are just gold. Just gold. And away she goes. Look at that, that is the spot. That fish, physically, I didn't even get a whine that he'd eaten that lure. This is one of the new classic tidal wave lures, I think it's called. I've never actually used them before, so I have to say I think, but it's actually a popper. And it's made by Classic Lures, and I've got a nice queenie out the back here. That was so cool. When it actually lands in the fish's mouth. Now, Mr. Hunt,
yes.
Would you like some tips on guiding?
You've taken over, haven't you, Paul? That's a nice fish.
Holy snap, and look at that. Look at that big classic popper in his gob. These things just have to eat 24 hours a day to survive in this current. Oh.
Now, right now, I'm thinking to myself, do I keep fishing or do I come and bring that fish into the boat for you?
And here is our beautiful queen fish. And look at that popper. Oh, I tell you what, they're called skinnies. They are skinny. That's got some weight to it. Just look how big that fish is. It even looks big against me, mate. If you could just grab my pliers out of my pocket.
I can do that for you.
I've never used a classic popper before in my life, but let me just say, I still don't know how they swim because it landed, it got engulfed. So I can't even tell you if they're any good.
I think the proof's here that it's worked.
Okay.
There we go, look at that popper.
That is quality. Red and white. This fish has got to go back, mate. Now, people don't eat queenies, but you can eat them, can't you?
Yeah, mate, do you know what we do? You pull them straight out of the water.
Yep.
Take a flank off the side of them.
Yep.
Take a slice of the flesh and put it straight in your mouth and it'll just melt. It is absolutely beautiful. Or we'll cut it up, put it into a vinegar and brine type mix. It's called nummus. Bit of sugar, mix of a few different things, leave it in there for an hour or so, and it is absolutely fantastic.
Really?
Beautiful, and we're going to try it later.
Excellent. I'm actually feeling a bit nummus myself. A bit numb that I'm catching all the fish and my guide is catching none.
Well, I think that I'm going to have to take over the guiding
So I
position
tell you
again.
what, Paul, we'll head back over that rock, you can take stock, put your popper out, and nothing else rhymes, so let's just go back there. Oh, yes! How good!
His friends?
Oh, his friends are there. Just cast 15 feet, mate. Just look at him boiling with him. Just cast 10 feet. That is quality. Now look at that popper as it comes in. It's going to get smashed for sure. Oh! Never was a truer word said. It's going to get smashed for sure. That was just sensational.
Look at them all. Look at them all. Hey!
That's a G. I think I've got a GT here.
GT.
I've got a GT.
And if you have, there's more there with him.
There's heaps more. I can see the big yellow tails.
Oh! Look at that. Oh, I've got a queenie.
A GT and a queenie. How good was that action? Seriously, there are people around the world now salivating. Listen to me, if you can save the money, even if you've got to get a part-time job, ring Angling Adventures, ring top-end expeditions. Just get to places like this because I think in your life, everybody deserves this opportunity. And don't make it the trip of a lifetime. Oh, there's a shark on it. There's a shark on it. Oh, he's got it. Oh, you've got two sharks there.
I think I got it. They're big sharks too, Paul.
Well, while you muck around, I might just grab my GT over here before he gets eaten. That's a beautiful little GT. That is amazing. We're catching queenies one after the other. The old towel on the tail. Look at that. The classic tidal wave. And you saw the tidal wave as the GT smashed it. And then the queenies come up too. What? He said there's some sharks out there. Can I put him back over there? I tell you what, mate, I reckon that's a fair call and you deserve it. What? The many grey coats, I know they're called sharks. It's all right, I'll look after it for you. How you going there, Paulie?
This little next 10,000, it is a beauty. I got a big shark on here. He ate the queenie on me. Listen to that.
I tell you what, we need some more underwater shots. You grab the camera, go in, and tell us what it's like. What? Oh, sorry, the other side. I'm sorry, mate. There you go. And sorry about the war on the lens. I couldn't understand him. I don't speak GT-Indonesian. People come into my tackle world store in Cranbourne, they want to buy a snapper and they go, that's not strong enough to catch snapper. It is strong enough. You don't need a thick, stumpy rod. You want something that's good quality and you don't have to spend a lot of money. With all the foreign imports coming in now, those container ships bringing more and more fishing tackle, you can get good gear at ridiculously good prices. And I think this is a pretty fair indication of that.
That's a good indication, mate. This little outfit is absolutely getting a serve here.
Now,
and it's doing things beautifully.
let me just say...
He's coming up, he's coming up.
Okay, I'm going to move this box. Just watch that. This is where you'll have to watch your rod, mate.
Yeah.
Or more importantly, my rod. I'm going to try and trace him if I can, because at worst or at best the leader will break.
Okay, I'm going to bring him in.
Just bring him in, just maybe back that drag off. Look at that for a cool fish. I'm just going to hang on to him. That is so cool. Now, excuse me, sir, can I have my popper back? This is going to be fun. Now. Oh, there he goes.
He's gone?
Hey, and if you see a mate of mine, a GT about this big, you leave him alone because I promised him. I did promise him. And that's good because, oh no! Look at that.
Look at that.
That was a good snap. But you shouldn't do that sort of stuff with your gear. And that's what happens.
And that's what happens.
It's all good though. You know what I reckon? It's getting dark. I think we've got time for just one last cast.
One last fish. You're not feeling like getting into those oysters?
One last cast, let's go.
One last cast, let's go.
GT's down there as well. This is a Kamachi popper, big cup face. Owner ST76 trebles. I'm going to give it a go and see if I can't get something a little bit bigger.
How good is this, Paul?
It is just the best. This is what dreams are literally made of.
Top End Expeditions?
I just love it so much. I just love it so much.
And you know what? We haven't seen another boat all day, Paul. How good's that?
Oh, there's fish on my popper. Oh, come on. I've got a big popper.
Look at this.
This thing's going.
This thing is not giving me...
Oh! How was that for a jump? How good was that? Oh, there he is! Oh, he's going nuts! Oh, he's just going insane! Oh, and I can tell we're getting it all because my cameraman is smiling like a cat that swallowed the canary. Oh, there he is again! There must be a shark behind him, I reckon.
There's got to be, mate. He's really
He's
on the
going,
jump.
look at him coming here to... Oh!
He's going to get shark. They're on him.
I'm going to try and get him in quick. I want to save him. Save him from the sharks.
Don't bring those sharks anymore.
Oh,
it's too late.
No!
It's too late.
No! Now what? Oh, his head's still there. His head's still there. Get me back! Get
Don't
me
bring him
back!
near mine.
Oi, fellas. Now one of two things is happening. He's either eating my queen fish.
Oh no, they're going for mine. Look at the sharks. I'm going to back this off.
Oh, they're doing. Look at this, the queenie. Look at the sharks fighting over it.
Oh no.
They still go. Look, two of them have it one each end, and they're fighting over it.
Now they're going to go my GT in a minute, I'm sure.
Look, it's pretty average today's fishing. I have to apologise. Next week, we're going to do some really exciting stuff and catch big fish, lots of them, and they're going to jump all over the place like this. Oh, I'm hooked. There's a shark! There's a shark!
Well, they've left my GT alone so far.
Hey, I'm good to you. Look, I know you've struggled today with the fish.
I've struggled, mate. I've really
So
struggled.
what I did, I only hooked my fish so I can get the sharks away from your fish.
Well, you know, I've got a quality fish.
Because a good friend will do that. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to back up on your quality fish.
If you can, mate, because he's giving me a bit hard time this
I tell you what,
You got into that current?
those two sharks kissing, they had one end of my queenie each going, one of the greatest things I've ever seen.
Hold on.
He's just going to take...
This fish. Oh, the sharks are here. No! Oh! They've got him. I can see his head. Guess what, Paul?
Gone.
There he is.
Well, let me just say, wow-wee. That's with a capital W for wow, a capital W for wee, and put a capital W on worsting as well. This has to be one of the hottest fishing sessions I've ever had, ever.
Is that right, mate?
Mate, we didn't get out until like 2 o'clock. The sun's just going down 4 hours. You've seen it all. And I've seen things today. That's the thing about fishing that I've never seen before in my life. This is one of the greatest things you ever do in your life. Let me say it again. Ring Angling Adventures, ring Top End Expeditions, get your backside to the Northern Territory because this goes down as one of my top 10 life experiences, mate.
Good on you, mate.
Quality.
Fantastic.
And there's still oysters to come.
Oysters to come. And dessert, we didn't tell you about dessert.
Oh, I'm so excited. Paul, that was seriously one of the hottest fishing sessions I've ever had.
You enjoyed yourself, mate, didn't you?
Well, I don't know if the people at home will be able to see how much fun I was having. I think it might have come through. It actually looked like I had 48 Red Bulls. It was so good. That was just insane.
I think there was only 42, something like that.
That was just insane. Fluky, grab my hand, mate.
How'd you go, boys?
Well, it was fairly average, to be quite dishonest. Let me just say this. What a day, you saw it. See this Plano box? When I went out, I couldn't close it properly. We've come in, that's all that's left. I seriously could not get the lid down on this. One cotton cordell is all that's left, and you know what? It was worth it.
It was worth it.
Oh my God, there is a massive shark in the background there. Can you see it?
That's a lemon shark.
There is bait everywhere. Look at that. It is just cruising through the bait. I'm getting off this boat because today cannot get any better. And the only way it will is if a shark jumps out of the water and eats me, and I don't want that to happen. That is seriously the only way today could get better for the viewers anyway. Paulie, come enjoy the oysters, mate. Get off.
I shall, mate, I shall. Good.
A little bit of shark feeding on a Riga Bay too. This little guy's swimming right under me at the moment. He's come up to take this beautiful queen fish frame. Isn't nature just an amazing thing? Look at him out there. Here he comes. Look at that.
He's excited.
Oh, there's another one.
Oh, there's a brumby.
Is that a whale? I hope not.
There you go.
Gotta have a feed, mate. Look at that, it's a whaler shark. Oh, I'm glad I got my hand out of the water. Let him suck it down, Look at that. They're tough, aren't they?
They're tough.
How cool is that?
How cool is that?
That's a big lemon shark. There's a bronze whaler just below it about
Look,
bang! There's another little whaler there. And now they're doing the double death roll. Oh! These are the oysters Kilpatrick we've talked about all day.
Look at those.
Grab one of them, mate. How good is this? These were the oysters that we collected off the rocks earlier. And let me just go.
Oh.
I'm not supposed to speak with my mouth full, but that is just too good. And how courteous are you? He actually got the lemon shark to put with our oysters.
Very good.
Doesn't get any better.
Doesn't get any better.
But we're about to have a few quiet drinks, some more oysters, and a beautiful dinner on this magnificent mothership. Paul, crack a day?
Crack a day.
I'd take my shirt off, but I didn't want to embarrass you, mate.